Podcast. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
I'm Ryan Dunigan, and I got nothing really clever for whatever that.
You got was. Like a shifter, like I was like going to high gear, fucking getting there.
I drive an automatic. Well, back when I did drive, but yeah.
Well, so do I, but
I actually never. It's kind of sad. I never learned how to drive manual. I got to do that one day.
Oh, you missed. You should just drive. The way to go is to drive an old Toyota that everything is manual. It's like you got no power steering, no power brakes, and then you got to shift everything. So it's like the most primal way to drive.
Oh, I saw that car. Yeah.
There's a caveman way to drive. That's it.
Aside from Flintstoning it.
Yeah. Actually, aside from using your feet.
Well,
which I was bummed. The local comic shop did not Flintstones book, which sounds weird, but after reading the Wacky Racers and the fucking Scooby-Doo one and the Future Quest one, and then hearing about the guys that are writing the Flintstones one, there are a bunch of guys that write a bunch of mature rated books anyways, I was very curious because I'm like, the other ones have been so fucking good. I want to get that Flintstones one. And then the comic book shop didn't have it, so I'm like, fuck it. Maybe I'll just get off Comixology, which I haven't yet, but...
Is it kind of like just almost like South Park, but it's Flintstones, or is it going to be like?
I don't think it's like that far, but it would just, I don't know. Like it's just
Archer, maybe something like that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if it's going to be like so funny, or I'm not too sure. I just don't know what to expect, but I bet you it'll be really fucking good. That's all I have to say.
It's just like the dark art house Flintstones movie, like Fred comes like stumbling in, like just wasted in his blue buffalo hat.
Yeah.
Like, Wilma! Bear! Like, Fred, you're drunk. Don't you say that to me, you fucking bitch! Dino starts barking.
She's like, Fred, not in front of Pebbles! Not in front of Pebbles!
Shut that fucking dog up, Wilma!
She's gonna grow up to be in some ridiculous teenage band, in the future! We've seen it!
Does she?
Isn't that one where they're teenagers? Aren't they in a band? Maybe I'm totally getting this wrong, but...
There's so many random fucking like offshoots that came in like late 70s, 80s. There's like Wacky Racers types things exclusively just set in Bedrock. And then there's one where it's just like, I don't know what the fuck happened. Like how there's that episode of South Park where they go to meet the writers of Family Guy, and they're just a bunch of manatees that knock balls. Okay, a person, a place, and a situation.
Yeah, pretty much.
I feel like Hanna-Barbera with some of their older characters, like somewhere in like the 70s and Flintstones, they had one where just like, okay, Pebbles and Bam Bam are like, they're either teenagers or maybe like early 20s or something. And they still hang out with Fred and Wilma and Barney and all that. But then they have like, there's this haunted house down the road. And it just like, and it's kind of like an Addams Family kind of thing. And they were major characters of the show too.
That sounds kind of familiar. Because they made a handful in the 80s. They just made one of those, like, they were like 6-episode series of shows where there really wasn't very many. I always think of like Scooby-Doo and the 13 Ghosts being one of like the pinnacles of those. But there wasn't very many episodes of it. And that probably was another one like that too, where they just made like these short runs. They even did that with Johnny Quest with like the second series of Johnny Quest. Even though there's a little bit more on that one. I think there's like 18 episodes or something like that, but...
It's just one of those things like, well, that didn't fucking work. All right, let's try Wacky Racers again. That kind of thing.
But yeah, no, I'm just interested in that Flintstones thing that I should have got so I could talk about, but whatever.
No, I was just thinking like, I remember I only saw that thing once or twice, but it was like that. I was like in elementary school and I was sick, and then you got to see all the shows that they wouldn't play usually, just because like all the kids are at fucking school right now. Just throw this shit on for a time filler.
Yeah, that Cartoon Network. During the middle of the day when they just had to fill up the void because they only had, 6 original shows at the moment, and then everything else was just, reruns of ancient Hanna-Barbera stuff.
Like, oh, Captain Caveman, I forgot about this shit. Yeah.
But speaking of something else that's actually gotten kind of older by now, but had a big comeback, I guess you could say. You got that Pokemon Go that came out.
Oh yeah, that thing. I got that too, and that took up about half my day before yesterday.
And I'm kind of surprised that like it's actually become like as hugely popular as. I mean, maybe it's not no surprise, but I was just kind of used for a while. It's not that Pokemon's really died down. It's still kind of everybody still seems to like it. That's a hardcore gamer and so on. But it hasn't been nearly as big, for a bit. It's just been kind of like, doing its mediocre run. Like some games, like, when X and Y came out, I was recommending that to like fucking everybody, but not everybody was really getting it still. And so on. So, I thought Pokemon Go was going to come out and it would be probably like, probably all the Pokemon fans will get it. Maybe a handful of people, they're like, oh yeah, I forgot about Pokemon. Well, this is a free, easy way to kind of play something a little bit here. But then next thing you know, it's like, seems like everybody knows about it.
Well, I think it's one of those things, like, I think a lot of people that don't... I'm going to be kind of honest. I'm kind of like a lukewarm kind of Pokemon fan. There's that period when I got like a little older where I was just kind of like, I don't want to be judged, so I'm going to stop liking it now. And then when I went back and actually played the game, it actually was still a fun game and still held up. But just in the context of the show doesn't hold up. I don't really care about that anymore. I mean, if I was to watch an episode, I might get nostalgic, but strictly in the sense of like how enjoyable it is, I don't think it really holds up. It's always kind of the same thing.
I still enjoy the show. It's one of those ones, like, yeah, I'm not going to say it's like, this masterwork, but I think for the fact that we were literally the original, like, what Pokemon was made for back in the day. I mean, I got on my wall, I got the Pokemon poster before Pokemon even came out in the US from Nintendo Power, where it says Pokemon Red and Blue coming soon to a Game Boy near you.
I remember that.
So it's like that early time, and I remember like I always say 4th grade was the best period of my life, and I think it was all due to Pokemon being really like that point. It's like that made such a pinnacle. It was a time period where I can think that nothing bad happened. Sounds so weird because most people go like, really 4th grade? I'm like, I don't know. It's like that point. It was just like, I was watching South Park, playing Pokemon, playing N64 and PlayStation. Everything was sunny. Everything was happy. It was this period of time. It was right. Maybe it's because it's right before like the dark ages of being a kid. Because
it's also right before 9/11 too.
Yeah, it was right before so many dark ages. It was just this extraordinarily happy time of like 98, 99, and into 2000. And because you think about it after that, like Pokemon was so big and bad, and then all of a sudden in 5th grade was the point where like people started banning Pokemon, and you couldn't bring things that couldn't bring the cards to school anymore, almost couldn't even play the games and whatnot. And I think due to the schools almost banning it in lots of places, that ended up making Pokemon become kind of less popular amongst the kids. Because then once you start to get into 6th grade, it's almost like, that was a period where play fucking Pokemon, fucking loser. Like, why don't you stop playing video games, fucking start playing sports or something. So like, the 4 kids that are left in school that still play video games now are all ostracized.
Why? I know that I noticed that you had those kids who would do that, but I also noticed that there are some kids that actually they were kind of closet fans, and for a while I liked it, but then I just I'll be honest, when it got to Gold and Silver, the show petered it out for me by that point. So that was the main thing I liked in the first place was the show. Then as I got older, it became more about the games than it did the show. But I played Gold and Silver, then I went off and just kind of stopped getting into it. Then later, I just kind of picked it up again, just out of nowhere. I had Blue, and I just started playing it. Like, oh yeah, I do remember why I liked this game, and it was actually pretty fun, So
that was the thing. Is Gold and Silver was kind of like the ending of like that pinnacle blow of like Pokemon being so huge at the moment, and then from that point on, it literally became like almost like you had to like play it in the closet. You couldn't be fucking like being seen having Pokemon items for like the next like 4 or 5 years, and then. It was almost that one where, like, if you like Pokemon still, you didn't really say anything about it. You just kind of kept it to yourself. You know what I mean? Like, don't speak, don't tell.
It's like a manhunt. Like, you gotta go, like, knock on it. You gotta go to, like, a secret door where, like, a knock, like, the little slit opens up, like, what's the magic word? Like, rare candy. You open up the door, you go in. There's, like, it's, like, underground, like, Pokemon tournaments.
In there, a bunch of fucking, like, 12-year-old kids. Like, yeah, we still fucking like Pokemon around here. What's the problem with it, huh? Those other guys, they're a bunch of faggots, I tell you. Us playing Pokemon, we ain't gay whatsoever. Just because we're playing it in a closet doesn't mean we're fucking gay.
Then you hear like,
okay, Tony, we get it. You like Pokemon and you really are kind of against gay people. Yeah, I ain't a fucking buttfucker. Huh? Look at me, I'm smoking a cigar at 13. It ain't a fucking dick in my mouth, huh?
Why does he talk like this? He's actually from Kansas.
Yeah, I don't know. He just really always liked, those, old-fashioned 1930s.
He just grew up on Old Noir.
Yeah.
No, and then like all of a sudden just hear like a bust at the door, like, oh, they found us! Like, we found them! Just a bunch of guys in Letterman jackets come running down.
Like, get those non-sport playing faggots! Fucking Pokemon cards! Just start beating you up. You're like, why'd you get a real trading card? Get a baseball card! And you're like, no, that's fucking gay.
The thing about baseball is like, I don't know, I guess the whole thing with like...
You can't battle them, so like, what's the point? No.
Well, it's coming from a guy from me. I just collected them just because there was more Pokemon stuff. I didn't even play the game, but it just looked cool to me. I just like the artwork on it. But the whole, yeah, I mean, I guess that was always kind of my thing with baseball cards. I mean, for a little while, I just tried, like, society told you, hey, you got to collect baseball cards because you're a boy in America. I'm like, okay. Then I bought a couple. Nah, not for me.
Yeah, well, I think every young boy had at least a handful of some kind of sports cards. We all do, you know. And then you kind of get your prize ones. Like, I have, like, a John Elway one. It's maybe, like, his second or third year. It's like, well, this is kind of cool, you know? John Elway. I know his name. You know.
You get, like, a Mark McGuire. Like,
yeah, Mark McGuire, you know. Steroids are cool, Billy.
Just, like, giant arms and all that. That was... I noticed that, like... God, who was this? Mark McGuire? Who was the, was it Sammy Sosa?
Yeah, there's Sammy Sosa around that time too. Because I remember he had Sammy Sosa in 64 baseball. See, that's how I know these sports players. If they were on a video game, I know who they are. You know, if they're not on the cover of a video game, I probably don't know who you are. So that's about as far as it gets. But going back to Pokemon, like this sort of like because you know that was the time period where you had a handful of card shops around, and then they realized, oh fuck, we got to get some of this Pokemon stuff in here. Even though you could tell that the owners lots of times were like, this is what I would consider selling out. My whole dream was to have an all-sports memorabilia area. Then these fucking kids want a bunch of shit from Japan now, going against everything that we fought for. But I know to keep my business alive, I have to invest heavily in Pokemon.
I remember, like, what happened was, what was it? When Pokemon first came out, it was hard to find anything Pokemon, just because it was so popular. And you go to like Toys R Us and, you know, you might find the game, but you wouldn't find very many toys or figures or anything like that. So one time my brother, he says, I'm going down to this card shop over here to, I got this card. I think it's worth a lot. I'm going to see how much they're going to give it to me for. So we just go down to this random store. It's like right in the corner. It's called Collector's Choice. This is back when I lived in San Jose. Went down there. And then, like, we're just waiting for it to open. And then in the distance, I just see, like, this big, like, stuffed Pikachu off in, like, the shadowy corner. I'm like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? And then, like, I kind of go in there, and, like, once it opens up, and I realize part of the whole back section covered in Pokemon shits. Which, at this point in time, was hard to find, but it was all imported from Japan. So which means they jacked the fucking prices up. Which I just walked in there.
If it was Japanese stuff, it was always better. Didn't make a difference. It could be the exact same thing as an American one, but you wanted the Japanese shit. You didn't want the fucking American stuff as much.
I remember just going in there, just all of a sudden almost having an anxiety attack. Just like, it's fucking there. It's here. It's, you know, like, just like my brother's like, all right, let's go. I'm like, wait, what can I get for $1? You know? And then I had to go back there later. I just went back and just because I left my wallet at home. I went back later just trying because I was trying to think like what if it's all gone? What if that whole wall is gone by the time I get back?
Well, there's always that fear of that fat guy that will come in and outbuy everything. That's what happened. I remember like way later on in life when they brought Pokemon cards kind of back. And they had all the original series, and they were 99 cents a pack. And I remember me and Cisco, we went in there and we bought you know, as kids, or 15-year-olds by this point, we were able to buy like maybe like $10, $15 worth of them. And we're like, fuck, we got to save some money and come back next week. All gone. All gone. You always know there's that mysterious fat guy with all that, you know, expendable cash. Yeah, he's got sweatpants, and he's got expendable cash.
And he has that kind of like he breathes out his mouth, yet he has his eyes wide open, kind of has that vacant stare. Like he's not looking at anything in particular, but just kind of like wide-eyed, he just walks out. Like, is he aware of where he is? He looks kind of like a fish out of water, literally. Like the look on his face.
And you know, and he goes in there and he buys all this stuff, and then he takes it home and goes, put it in the corner with the other ones. It's just this store all of stuff. And as a kid, you almost look up to this guy. When you get older, you almost kind of go, I don't know if I want to become this man. I have this fear of that.
And then, but that place right there, I remember that place, as the time went on and that little corner expanded to like pushing all the sports stuff into the far corner. And you see all these old timer sports guys going there collecting sports memorabilia, just like, oh, these fucking kids and their Pokemons. And then once Pokemon dropped, because it was right around the corner from the middle school. So once Pokemon drops, like those guys, like they're like made for TV movie would probably like this store had like a biopic. It's made for TV movie. Some point there'd be like probably a montage of Rolling Stones Gimme Shelter playing, them doing coke in the back room,
making so much money off this Pokemon.
Yeah, doing it right off a Charizard like holographic card,
Yeah, because the downfall is after that Pokemon boom of pretty much in America, the late '90s, it was those dark 5 years afterwards. It really fucked everything. Like those card shops, they took a beating because they invested like 75% of their stuff into Pokemon. And then once it got to that like 5th, 6th grade area where people were like, Pokemon is fucking lame. And then the handful of kids are like, well, I still like Pokemon, but I can't be seen out there buying it. So I guess I'll just hold on to what I have and enjoy it. Then these guys are like,
exactly.
Fuck, we got all this merchandise and it's not fucking selling.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then it went down. But I remember, this is the thing that happened is, okay, after those 5 dark years of where, you couldn't be allowed to be seen.
Are you just calling it 5 dark years because other shit happened, or are you just talking strictly about
just Pokemon? It's just Pokemon because there's this period, because I literally think it's like, it's from about like a little bit after 5th grade on, it was just this time period where nobody, like, you may like Pokemon, but nobody was going to say it. You couldn't pull out your Pokemon merchandise. You couldn't. Really, you kind of just tucked it away in the corner, put it in a shoebox, stuck it underneath your bed, and you just waited because you knew that it would hopefully come back. And then I just remember being about in about maybe like sophomore year or something in high school. And all of a sudden, it was just like everybody banded together and just kind of brought fucking Game Boys back and said, you know what? We all fucking like this. Let's express it. We're out of the closet. Come on. Bring your Game Boys. So, and this is the time period right when like the Red and Blue remakes, Leaf Green and Fire Red came out. So people are bringing their Game Boy Advances in, playing it. And then, you got people, it's like, well, I can't fucking afford it, but I'm going to bring my fucking Game Boy Pocket. I'm going to bring my Game Boy Color. Some kids came in with original Game Boys, and we were all playing it, and there was nothing fucking wrong with it. It was that kind of thing that, like, it's okay. Be yourself kind of thing. You know what?
Is it like this? Was like there's an assembly and like teachers like, someone here has been bringing a Game Boy to school and playing that, I can't even say the word, Pokemon.
I thought this fad was over.
And then you stand up, you're like, I'm a Pokemon master. Some other kid in the back, everyone's quiet for a minute, some other kid in the back corner, I'm a Pokemon master. Oh, everybody else stands up. like triumphant music starts playing.
Everybody starts running down to the fucking like gymnasium with like their fucking Pokeballs. Everything's like, we've been holding this merchandise for so many years. Secretly hidden, lifting up their Game Boys like fucking like candlelight.
And then like everybody from the distance.
Well, except none of those things were backlit back then. Never mind, that's not fucking lit.
It worked for the moment though. It worked for the moment. And then like the people from a distance, like at the moment, it's got to seem all very triumphant and like magical to the people in the moment. But off in the distance, like, what the fuck are those kids doing over there?
They're bringing it back. They're bringing it back. And then you just see like some jock, he just starts ripping off his Leatherman and just starts running out, like screaming like, I've always wanted to be a Pokemon master!
And he has like a big...
Dad wouldn't let me. He starts grabbing the mic. He starts breaking the song. It's just like, there's all these things I've wanted to do. Just like, I even wanted to be gay, but Dad said, no, you can't be a faggot. It's like, oh man, boy, this... We were talking about just about Pokemon, but... Good thing Steven over here is expressing himself. You gotta say that's the Pokemon spirit, at least, is to be yourself and to go out and capture others.
That's right. Okay, you can stop singing. You can stop singing.
Stop the same part. We're just talking about Pokemon.
Yeah.
But no, it's funny how that was. And then ever since then, it's almost like Pokemon's been accepted. It's been like you could walk around town with a Pokemon t-shirt on, and it's cool. You could talk Pokemon freely in public, and it's fine. You could express yourself in all ways Pokemon, and nobody gives a flying fuck anymore because it's all open. And it's a good. We're past those dark ages. And, to the older people, they literally thought that this was a fad that was not going to last longer than fucking 2 years. Lo and behold.
It sound like there's segregated bathrooms or some shit.
Oh, it pretty much was. That's how it was back in our day. And now, 20 years later, we could get something like Pokemon Go Where you could walk down the street and people are like, yo, you playing Pokemon Go? Women, men, older people, children, all accepted under one.
I don't know if it's accepted everywhere still. I think if I was like, oh, I'm playing Pokemon, like, oh, well, good for you, have fun, But I think there's some people that I think it is way more accepted now just because of the nostalgia of it, and since a lot of people grew up with it, And I think that since I mean, let me say this: I'll see people like late teens to early 20s rocking like the original, like a T-shirt with the original starters or Pikachu or something, but I never see silver beyond that. So I mean,
really?
I mean, whatever.
I see gold silver stuff still because that one's still pretty popular. And then I mean, like you'll see kids, like the newer stuff. I know that's kind of with kids, but the fucking games are amazing. Like I can't wait for the new one, like Sun and Moon, to come out. Looks fucking badass.
That one starter looks like a bus, and a caterpillar.
Oh yeah, and then they got the fucking Donald Trump Pokemon coming out and whatnot too.
Is it literally? Is it because I know sometimes they will like throw like some. There is a Pokemon that's inspired by 9/11. There literally is a Pokemon inspired by 9/11. It's all. It's in X and Y, and
that's like way fucking late for it. It's like it's in 9/11, but we're doing it like 12 years later.
I know, but it's like there's like a it's I don't remember what its name is, but it's all like black and gray.
It's a tower and a plane coming at it.
Towermon, or whatever. Yeah, that's Digimon. No, anyway.
It as he evolves, the tower goes farther and farther down.
Oh, no, it's like he's like some kind of like I want to say it's like some kind of dragon like thing. It's I can't describe it. It's one of the big. It's like one of the mystical ones. I guess it's like when you go to the part of town that's supposed to be New York, and there's a big crater there. It's a meteorite that hit that area in New York of like fake New York, and the thing.
In X and Y. Must be in a different one, because X and Y is the one where it's kind of like all Europe inspired.
What's the one that takes... Oh, I'm thinking Black and White. I think I'm thinking Black and White.
Oh, yeah, Black and White, yeah.
Because that one's like supposed to be America mostly. And you go to like... Yeah, so if you go to the area that's kind of like a big like part of what's supposed to be New York is destroyed, that right there, there's a... I guess if you go there long enough... I haven't beat the game. But if you go there, you'll find one of those monsters. We'll find that Pokemon there, and it's apparently... I don't remember its name, but it's just black and gray. It looks kind of smoky. And its height and all that is 9/11. So,
that's interesting. I probably caught that and didn't even pay any attention to that.
I didn't even know about it at first. That somebody probably literally had to spell it out for me. I had to read about it on a Cracked article. So,
interesting. But yeah, so now we've come full circle, and as I said, you can walk around, you could express yourself freely. It'd be like, hey, I like Pokemon, and everybody's like, that's cool. I'm glad.
Cool.
Not it's not weird anymore. And now you got this kind of Pokemon Go, which I think for some people, they still have like that kind of like, I like Pokemon, but I can't really, still probably shouldn't say it too loud, too proud. And all of a sudden, this Pokemon Go kind of game comes out, and the next thing you know, you just kind of hear people left and right that are playing it that might not have picked up, X and Y or anything else, because maybe they just don't have a 3DS by this point, or they've kind of grown out of it, or now they're just like all into Call of Duty and Madden because they gave up on real video. No. But, so... That's kind of cool to see people come back and play, and at least being able to play something as simple as Pokemon Go and be like, hey, this is fucking cool. This kind of gives me that like feeling of what it was like to play Pokemon back in the day, and it kind of reminds me sort of like what they did, what Nintendo did with New Super Mario Brothers, because that was almost what New Super Mario Brothers was about. It was kind of like, let's forget the middle section of Mario, because that's probably where we lost a handful of people at, but we'll go back to like it's 1985 again. And, the people will be like, hey, remember 1985? And they're like, yeah, I fucking love playing Super Mario. That was like my time. I was fucking 10 years old. It was great. Well, let's do it again. Come on back. We got some new graphics and everything, but it's going to be kind of playing the same way you remember it. And that's sort of how this game kind of feels, even though it doesn't really play exactly how it is, but it gives you the nostalgic factor of it. And, in playing this so far, I haven't seen anything but, red and blue Pokemon, but I think they have gold and silver in there too, because it says there's 250 in the game. But they could be mixed match from other ones too. You never know.
So far I've only seen red and blue. I actually, day before yesterday, I'm like, oh yeah, let me put it this way. I mean, I'm not shitting on it because it's still brand new, and you got so many people logging onto it. They're probably still fixing out all the bugs and all the servers because half the time when I go on there,
it crashes like every other time you go to play it. But
yeah, like I first got the app, took a while for it to get up, then I started getting up and working. And then it just says, okay, yeah, just head outside. There's a couple of, there's 3 starters in your walking distance. And first I looked at it, I'm like, are you serious? I have to like break an entry in order to get Charmander. But then I'm like, oh, I just have to be in the vicinity of it because there's a ring. Because I saw Charmander was like in my neighbor's
It's
apartment.
somebody else's apartment.
Yeah, so just break it in. Like, no, no, no. Like there's some kid sleeping. I'm holding up my phone. There he is. He's standing in front of the kid. It's like shh. And then but no, he was standing right in front of it. It's like one of those things you just got to be close enough to be able to click on it, basically. But I did that. Then I realized, oh wait, we got this weird swiping ball thing. Got to throw the ball at it just right, and that right there is one of those things where if you wanted to just like, all right, now this is how you throw the Pokeball, just move the finger like that. That's cool, but I'm not a fan of that actually being the main way you catch them. Now maybe later, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Because I'm still I'm barely anywhere in the game. I just started. I was working yesterday, so I haven't had a chance to really play. Plus, it crashed again. So
Plus, the game's kind of hard to play at work because you really need to travel. You can't play that game in like a small area. You need to pretty much either be walking or driving to get anywhere in it.
Yeah, and I basically was just what was I saying? Fuck, what was I saying about that? Yeah, it was one of those things where maybe if as time goes on, you can actually battle the other Pokemon and then catch them that way. Maybe, but I'm pretty sure what you got to do is that's how you catch them is just this mini game, and then you go to different gyms or you come to different people and then battle. And gyms, the funny thing is, gyms are always like something like a church, like a GPS location of a church or a fire station or a police station.
Or the only gym I found so far was a bar.
Really?
I kid you not. The standard pour and standard. That was like a fucking gold mine for me. I was like, holy fuck. I was walking back and forth. I'm like, there's all kinds of places here. I could get stuff from this place and this place and this place. And then the gym turned out to be the bar there.
Maybe just whatever has the most traffic. So send some in.
Well, I think what it is, it's like, I think because they use Google Maps. So whatever business is registered in Google Maps becomes a location on there almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think that too. And there's some spots that, because then another thing that happens is when you play the game, so wherever you go, it's not like a standard game where you just control your guy, he walks around, and you come across Pokemon. You actually go out and around and find them. And usually there'll be these blue beacons all over the map, and it's usually a GPS registered location.
I like how yours are all over the map. You literally live in the perfect location for this game. They're probably... I would say San Francisco is probably one of the top 5 best places to play that game. I mean, that's probably better than LA, better than Seattle and all that stuff. I mean, because you can literally just walk throughout there and just find things left and right. Where the funny thing is, like, this is almost a good comparison by the ways that we're playing the game. Because since you're, like, in a city that's so confined together, I'm on the exact opposite where I'm in like a countryside that's all expanded out. And it's literally just like anything else. When you're in San Francisco, what I always love about San Francisco, you walk out your front door and you can go left, right, up, down, anywhere, and you're fucking right next to something. Go to the grocery store a couple blocks away. Go to, a restaurant a block or two away. Where here, it's that thing where you always got to drive out 10, 15, 20 minutes just to get to anything. And that's literally how the Pokemon game kind of works too. Like, there's no way you could really play Pokemon by walking up here. You have to literally almost be driving, which is about the most dangerous thing. But what I was doing is like, I would give the phone to Laura. It's like, if you see a Pokemon, fucking catch it as we're driving. And then it makes it really difficult because the game's not made to be played while driving. So, every turn you're going around, it spins the camera and everything. And then you got to try to throw the Pokeball at the same time.
Is Laura like, are we really doing Pokemon Drive-By right now?
Yeah, she's literally, because she gets all frustrated because, it's all spinning around in there and stuff. And she has to, look on the phone while the car is moving. It's like it's like a 3-axis thing going on.
Like, I caught probably my first day, I caught 11 or 12. I got like 12. I got 12 my first day. And just random things in the area. And yeah, anyway, I didn't get a chance to see these beacons pop up. It'll be a different business. Yeah. And you tap it and you kind of spin it. A little Pokeball icon will spin, and that will usually shoot out items, usually mainly Pokeballs. And you get experience every time you do that. So that's how your guy builds up experience. Not your Pokemon, but your guy. And
it's kind of cool. What I like about it is, this is what I think is kind of neat, is it's almost like you could travel around a city. And because when you spin those things, another thing I noticed is a lot of landmarks come up too. Like, especially up here in Tuolumne and whatnot. Like, all these landmarks, you're like, oh, I didn't know there's a fucking landmark there, and it'll come up as something. And then it's got like a little, like, you can read and everything. It's almost like when you take like those, walking kind of places where they got the little boards you can read about, like, and here back in 1856, blah, blah, blah happened, and over here, old Bob built his first cabin. It's got that, which is kind of a neat way to go around town and just almost like learn about places while catching Pokemon.
Okay. Yeah, that was I'm sorry, I said okay. I was
Yeah, fuck Laura. Yeah, I wasn't reading shit. I was just looking for a fucking Eevee there. I was like, out of the way, you fucking Tex.
um no, what I was gonna say was yeah, so you go around and you usually will get you like some items, and usually around those blue beacons, there's usually a Pokemon in the area. There's usually some random Pokemon in the area, and it'll say things that are nearby. Yesterday I was at work, thing wasn't working all day. I figured I might go try it on my lunch, but still wasn't working. Near the end of the day, I was all caught up, and we were just kind of waiting for like just waiting to close. Everything was done, just 10 minutes, and then the thing finally started working. And then I just turned it on, like, oh, I got to go to the park later today because Golden Gate Park, of course, was like a fucking landmine because there was blue beacons everywhere. And when there's one nearby, there'll be just grass and leaves flying up out of like random spots. That's how you know they're in the area. So I'm going to be going back there later today to give that a shot. But I remember sitting there, and then a Pidgeot appeared. I was like, oh my god, it's a fucking Pidgeot. I don't even I already caught Pidgey and Pidgeotto. Like, fuck the work of having to evolve those fuckers. I'm gonna catch this bitch.
Yeah.
But the thing about it though is usually when you try and catch them, because the way it is, it's a game where you have to use your finger and fling the balls at them, which sounds wrong, but you know what I mean. And it will like hit them, and sometimes it usually would only take me one shot. Like it would just take one ball to capture them, assuming I hit them. And then there was I went against a Growlithe, and even though in the Growl, and they always have this green ring around them. The Growlithe had a green ring. Regardless, though, it took me 2 or 3 balls to catch that little fucker.
Yeah, every once in a while there's ones like that.
And then I came across a Pidgeot. Like I'm expecting more out of this, so I'm prepared for it. I kept on going, and the thing I was like just running out of them. I was missing them just from missing them because I don't like the mechanics of the little like throwing thing because it's so easy to miss. So that's like you don't have to worry about this in the real game. You know, actually
you throw the ball.
And but anyway, so I was on the same guy for like 7 minutes, and I was just running out of Pokeballs. I'm not gonna lie, I suck at it. But also, I got him like 7 times, and he kept on breaking out. So here's the thing I'm worried about. I'm worried about it's gonna be super microtransaction-y. Like, okay, well, if you just want to capture this thing in 1 or 2 hits, here's the great balls. You know, so you just go down to our store and buy them. I'm afraid of something kind of like that.
You know, well, I want to say this really quick before we can go into that. When I found the Pidgeot, like we were at that Snugs like coffee shop thing, and I had to pull the camera up like at the lady, and I was throwing balls at her because that's right where the Pidgeot was. At least she turns around, looks and goes, "Oh, you playing Pokemon Go?" It's like, yeah. So it doesn't look so creepy that I got my fucking camera phone looking at you, throwing balls at your face,
just moving your finger rapidly. Did you capture Pidgeot?
I did. I caught him with one hit too, which was kind of amazing because at first I was like, "Oh."
Pidgeotto or
Pidgeot, like literally.
What the fuck?
No, I've had harder times with other Pokemon that I shouldn't have had. Like there was like a Bellsprout or something like that that took fucking 3 balls. And I was like, what the fuck? Like I don't even really want you, Bellsprout.
The Pidgeot was like fucking 7 balls for me, and I maybe if I kept at it, I would have got it, but I just like fuck it. I also like turned it off and then turned it back on in the same spot, so that could.
Every once in a while, that would end up
like
freezing it sometimes. But yeah, no, I think I just got lucky because you know how that is. There's probably like a luck meter on when you throw those and whatnot too. But
yeah, I had like 90 something. By the time I was done with that Pidgeot, I was down to like 60 or something. So just throwing this fucking balls, and I was trying to hurry up because I didn't, I was just like, we're already done with work. We're just basically waiting for like the clock to go down at this point. And then my coworker's like, "Did you get that?" No, not yet. This motherfucking, I was like, it's like, fuck it. I'll just like evolve the Pidgeotto later. I don't give a shit. Fuck it.
Well, and then too, it's like, this is the thing. I think the style of that game is such a sweet idea, but I really wish what they would have just done is kept the regular Pokemon battle mechanics in there. Because, Pokemon's not like the most complicated game that's not that hard to figure out. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Why not just be like, okay, I got my Bulbasaur, my Charmander, my Squirtle, and every single time I come up, I'm like, oh, okay, there's, I should just battle it the old-fashioned way where I got to knock its health down and then toss the Pokeball and capture it, or I could knock the Pokemon out and just get the experience. Like, that's sort of how it should be. And then when you can't come up, the other humans, then you can battle them, and they're pretty much just like the trainers you'd find in the game, and then the gyms and so on. That's about my only light complaint is that I know, when it comes to phone games, I feel like they always got to dumb them down for like the most retarded child in school. Like they can't just make like a regular game when it comes to phone. They always got to simplify it somehow, some way.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel it's like those ones like, I don't think those mechanics are really that hard that someone couldn't figure out. Just like, okay, here's a Pokemon. They got 4 moves they can use. They can level up and so on. Like, I don't know why would you get rid of that, style that's worked for 20 years, literally. You maybe don't have to have all like maybe the newer features that are in, X and Y at the moment, or the Ruby and Sapphire remakes that just came out.
Mm-hmm.
But, I just feel like they should just have that. I don't know why they don't have it, but I mean, it's still fun. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, because generally in a regular Pokemon game, I actually don't care nearly as much to capture all the Pokemon. I'm just like, I just want my team that's fucking badass, and that's it. I don't care about capturing all of them anymore. Where in this one, it is kind of nice. It's like, okay, I guess the game's more about capturing Pokemon than it is about battling Pokemon. Where I think the Game Boy games are more about battling Pokemon than they are about capturing them. Well, I guess depends how you play it. But
well, this right here, I was finding myself just playing the games. I went out and be like, all right, well, I got this thing. Let's see what it's about. Okay, start with Charmander. That's my favorite starter. So I got Charmander. Then I'm like, okay, there's a beacon over here. All right, there's some leaves. I'm like, oh, Rattata. Okay, yeah. Okay, then I just kept on doing that, just following the beacons. And then I turn around. I was looking both ways when I crossed the street. I wasn't being that guy. I've already seen.
Next thing you know, you're in Oakland. You're like, how did I get here?
Possibly, yeah, possibly. I just kind of when I was done playing the game, I just kind of looked up. I was like 15 blocks away from where I started, and I was like, oh wow, this is actually. And then like 15 blocks away, then 3 blocks down. So I'm like, oh well, I wasn't planning to go this far. I was just kind of planning to stay in the area, but whatever. And then Wes called me like, hey, want to meet up and grab a beer? I'm like,
no.
Yeah. No. I was like, yeah, because there's plenty of beacons along the way there. So I'm like, okay. So on the way there, I'm just like, there's one. Ooh, a Growlithe. There's one.
Well, that's like, I think that kind of aspect of it's really cool because they really had that idea a little bit beforehand. This is kind of, well, they had this pedal meter thing that came with the original version of Black and White, and it sounded like a sweet idea because you could load a Pokemon up on there, and then go out on your jog or go take a walk or whatever, and then it would kind of like level the Pokemon up while you're doing it, and you'd get some extra items, which sounded neat for certain Pokemon. You're like, okay, because the downfall of Pokemon is there's only enough time and trainers and all that stuff to really level up about 3 Pokemon. That's what I've always kind of said. If you have about, any more than that, you almost are kind of like wasting your time, except for unless you get to like the Elite Four and things like that. So the downfall is there's always certain Pokemon that you might want to train up, but you can't. So I'm like, well, this pedal man would be sweet. And then, you go out and take like a 3-mile jog, and you come back, it's like, he only went up like 1 level. I got 1 item for all this work I did. It's like, so it was kind of like, it was a nice start, but that was kind of about it. So fast forward to Pokemon Go, it's kind of like they're using that system. Like I found an egg at one of the places I went to. Went to like the Whole Food or the Nature's Whole Food store, and they had an egg there. It was like, oh, what the fuck? And then you put it into your thing, and then it's like, hey, walk 2 kilometers, and then it will hatch into something.
Huh.
Which, what you do? Yeah, walk 2 kilometers.
You're holding the phone out, like, so just, you see the numbers just like going super fast on there.
Well, it's GPS. It looks like I'm walking. So.
There was actually one of those things that actually kind of all things that bring me back to my childhood. It wasn't actually the game itself. It was actually, this is going to sound very cheesy, and this is probably what the marketing team wants to hear. It's almost people's interaction. Because as I was walking by, I was trying to catch a Zubat or something. And then this one dude in this car pulls up. I'm like, what the fuck does this guy want? And then he rolls down the window, and he's like, playing Pokemon Go? Like, yeah. He's just like, yeah, I am too. I've just been going around this area. He's been driving around like you, trying to catch him. He says like, yeah, like 2 blocks over, there's like a coffin and an execute. I'm like, oh, thanks, man. Yeah, good luck. Yeah, you too. Drives off.
And that's what I like about it, too, is because like I've rated a couple people, too, where it's like, they're like, oh, I'll play Pokemon Go. It's like, yeah. And it's like this interaction of like, and I think that's almost like the best part about Pokemon is really that game, like, you don't really think about it, but that was really a game that brought people together more than almost any other game. Now, it also brought conflict, too, but I think with all, it's like a Mario Party. It's going to bring people together, but it's also going to make people fight too. You know, it's just going to happen. Good times are always going to turn into something the second that someone screws someone else over. But that is kind of thing, because you think about you had the Game Boy before, and like, okay, yeah, you had the trading cable, but what were you going to play, like F1 Race or something like that? There wasn't a whole lot of things.
Street Fighter 2, maybe.
Yeah, Street Fighter 2. That was about as far as it kind of got. So once you had Pokemon, it was like, oh, fuck, then you can trade Pokemon with each other. You could battle with your friends. I remember when we first got that trading cable, like, maybe as, like, 10-year-olds, our mind was, like, super far in the future. Like, we were playing a PS4 game, but we were still on Game Boy Original. Because we literally thought that, like, once you hooked the trading cable up, you would literally be able to play the game together. Because I remember, like, it was like me and Cisco had it hooked up together. And we're like, okay, dude, I'm over in Viridian City. Well, you go over to Viridian City, too. And they're walking around like, hey, he's not there. What the fuck? Like, we were literally thinking ahead, like, almost how a game should be, like, when you're playing Destiny. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Then you realize, oh, it's just for trading and battling.
But still, at the same time, it was cool. You know, that was kind of the thing. So, I mean, it'll be fun to, like, because I haven't really met somebody yet where I can, like, go, hey, can we, trade or, like, see how this game interacts so far? I haven't been able to meet somebody and do that or even battle just to test that part out. Because up here, the downfall is, like, you almost got to go kind of... Well, you can't go to an elementary school because fucking school's out, so you can't do that weird thing. I remember when, I almost want to say it was on, because I could have swore it was when I was in San Francisco that they had that Street Pass thing, even though I was thinking that was a 3DS feature, but I think that might have originally started on the regular DS. And what the Street Pass is when you leave your system on and just close the screen, and it's like in low power mode. You know, when you walk past with certain games, you can kind of get things. Like, I know on Dead or Alive for the 3DS, you can get people's, like, kind of like profiles or whatever and kind of battle computer versions of them. And then, you know, in Pokemon, you could get certain things and stuff like that. So it was like, when you walk past, like, an elementary school, you'd get way more of those than you would anywhere.
So you're just wondering why this, like, maroon Sundance keeps on hanging around the outside of the elementary school, just, like, peering over the steering wheel.
You kids playing Pokemon Go, huh? You guys playing Pokemon? Who wants a candy?
Rare candy. It's rare candy.
Yeah, not fucking weird and creepy. But no, it's almost like, that's always kind of how it's been. It's like, oh, so I really got to go, like, walk next to a bunch of children because that's about the closest you're going to get to them all having those fucking 3DSs on.
I know there's, like, some little, like, I don't know, you probably have to pay for it. Well, I know you got to pay for it because I haven't seen it. I haven't got one. But, like, there's some kind of little Pokeball, like, GPS thing I think you can get probably from the store to help with the game or something. I don't know what that does exactly.
It's kind of funny because, okay, you know, I understand, like, you know, they have things there you can pay for and stuff like that, which is kind of funny when you really think about it. Because there's so many, like, these games now. It's different for other ones, but when it comes down to a Pokemon game, I kind of go, okay, well, you know, here's this game that people have spent, you know, like, years working on, and these people, like, are still working on it as we speak, and so on like this. And then you get people that are like, as long as I don't have to pay a single fucking dime to any of those guys, I just want a full-on game that I don't have to pay anything for, which always seems kind of, like, cheap. Now, I know it's like, I'm not a big fan of the microtransactions. I'd rather just pay $40 and get a full game, you know, and call it good if that's the case. Now, that would seem ridiculous on a phone, but which still always makes you laugh because I've seen that before, like on other games where, like, you know, a game costs maybe $5. People are like, oh, it's so fucking expensive, and you're like, $5? I mean, like, $5 is almost like, that's almost like this day and age with, like, you know, increase of money and whatnot. It's almost like what an arcade game should be, because, you know, if we were a kid and technically all the good new arcade games were all like $1 by now because of inflation. They should be a couple dollars each. So, you know, you really think about it, it's like, if you have this game and if you spend, as long as you don't spend like a copious amount of money on it, but if you spend, you know, a handful of dollars, I kind of go, it's no fucking different than going to the arcade and putting a couple bucks in. You know what I mean? And playing a couple rounds of Time Crisis or something.
Yeah, something I'll say, though, about the game is I understand it's a free-to-play game, so when you have microtransactions, that's going to the people updating the game. I get that, but I feel like a lot of times things that have microtransactions really abuse their power to a ridiculous level. And sometimes I get it. Like, for instance, there was, going back to sort of Pokemon, there is a Rick and Morty Pokemon parody game called Pocket Mortys. And basically, the concept, it was basically a Pokemon clone, but it was in the Rick and Morty world. And what happens is, Rick, being Rick, you know, if you watch Rick and Morty, you know, there's all these parallel universes, and they'll occasionally just bump into other Ricks and Mortys. It's not a big deal. You'd go to, like, this other, like, realm where Ricks were battling their Mortys. They'd build up a team of Mortys. So you have original Morty on your team, and then you go out, there's a wild feral Morty. It's like, here's Greaser Morty. Here's Morty with a long tongue. Here's Morty on fire, So it would be, it's like, oh, there's a Morty battling league where Ricks are making their Mortys battle for their entertainment. And, it played like Pokemon as a Pokemon clone, but the thing about it was it made it it was, at its heart, it was a very simple game. But through microtransactions, that made the game easier and like way easier. And basically, what way it would work is it's kind of like Pokemon survival mode. So you'd go out into like some closed off realm. You'd have to battle different trainers and then go up against like the head Rick or whoever was running the spot. And you could only you didn't really, you kind of went in there with only what you had. And if you wanted to buy more potions or anything to heal your guys, you had to actually spend real money while in that realm.
That right there, I assume, kind of gets a little bit cheap. And even in this Pokemon game, because I kind of looked at the store and just kind of saw, it's like to get 20 extra Pokeballs, it's like $1, but you can see how fast you can go through those 20. But then again, I compare it to like an arcade game. I'm like, so how many arcade games have you put $1 in, and the game's over in like 2.5 minutes? So I guess I go, it's not that bad, and at least the Pokemon game doesn't have the ads in it. So I wouldn't feel nearly as bad if I did spend a couple dollars here and there. Now, if there was something kind of cool, like you said, like that GPS or whatever the fuck that thing was, what were you saying? There was something on there you said that you saw in the store.
Oh, I didn't see it. I'm just saying on the ads, I remember seeing people hold up like kind of little, it looked like a GPS, like a little like Google marker. It looked like a Google marker, but it was a little like Pokeball colored thing. I didn't buy it myself, but I'd see people. It looks like a little watch or something, kind of like a little like Pokeball watch, but in the shape of a Google marker.
The only downfall I just think the microtransactions though is it goes back to like almost like those elementary school days of like the kid that has the most amount of expendable cash from his parents is always going to be the best one at stuff, and that's the only thing I don't really like about microtransactions is it almost takes away skill and focuses it more on who's got the most amount of money. It's totally like capitalism at its worst. It'd be different if it was kind of like you could buy. I'm trying to think of like something you could buy that wouldn't seem so weird. They'd be like, okay, well that doesn't really cheat the game at all. But yeah, I couldn't even think of what doesn't do it, because no matter what, it just sounds like, oh, okay, if you have $150, you could pretty much just rape that game.
Mm-hmm. Well,
it's kind of that thing where it's like, I'd almost say once again, if you just paid $40 and then the game was just totally complete, and then they just kind of they kept updating it and so on, that almost seems a little bit better. But you could spend $40 on that game, and I guess it wouldn't feel like you got ripped off, because it's a weird kind of way to think about it. You know what I mean?
I just know eventually, because it's it's only like 3-4 days in the game. Now keep in mind, when I do play, like half the time I turn it on, it's crashed, which I understand. It's working itself out, but I can see it reaching this point. Like, okay, you gotta capture one of the legendary birds. Guess what? Regular Pokeballs aren't going to do it. So what we got is Ultra Balls, and for $5, you get a pack of. I can see that happening.
Yeah, pull out your credit card now, Billy.
Where rather than being kind of like, all right, if you're just really good, you can get this thing. But if it's like, I see it being unreasonable about it. I'm not saying it will be, but I can see it potentially being that.
Well, because I kind of noticed, because the only other real game I ever played on a phone that I kind of got into, and more was just because I had a lot of extra time to kill, so it was the perfect time killer game, was like that Jurassic Park one that came out a handful of years ago. And that one was kind of like, you built this park and just kind of these dinosaurs, and it was a game that was made that you could only really play it like every 15 minutes or so anyways, because, you would do you'd collect all your money and do all your actions, and then you just had to wait again, because everything was all time-based in that one. But that game was set up where it's like, okay, yeah, if you want, to get ahead in life, you could spend money and it'd be easier, or you could just spend more and more time doing it and never spend a single dime. So, it had it like that, but it was that kind of thing where they really did try to want to get your credit card. That was like what they're doing. It's like, we really are trying to lean you towards using your credit card to get somewhere. But that game kind of had ads in and stuff like that, so I felt like, if you don't have ads, it's almost like, okay, I could see you spending a couple bucks, whatever. It's like, okay. In a sense, I look at this. The people that are making the game are no different than you or me. You know what I mean?
No, I get you.
So they need to get paid somehow, some way. Because I have like Pokemon Go. Like, how the fuck does that game make money? You know what I mean? Like, unless people spend money.
Yeah, no, I get you. There's some things I'm probably okay with paying for. In my experience, most games that really try to push you for DLC or microtransactions really just abuse it. Not always, but most of the time they seem to. So, but this game, who knows? Maybe we'll see what happens. I'm hoping I could see it doing this kind of thing though. Okay, today Mewtwo's available. Where do you got to go to get Mewtwo? You got to go to the Apple Store, or okay, today Zapdos or whatever is available. Where do you have to go? Oh, well, you have to go on down to
Walmart,
not Microsoft Store, Walmart, or what I mean, something like that.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's gonna happen.
I want it because that's what I'm kind of wondering. Because right now it's like everything's kind of like government buildings. Oh, there's a handful of I've seen mom and pop businesses. I haven't seen a corporate one yet, but that's going to probably work its way in there as they're going to try to get specials based on corporate businesses. So you can't just stand outside of Walmart. You got to go deep into Walmart. You
got the Starbucks badge.
Yeah, exactly. Like I hope
it's like Barista Joe wants the battle. Dun, dun, dun.
But that's the thing is I hope the game as it gets updated and stuff like that, I hope it evolves more into feeling more like a regular Pokemon game because I think the concept idea of just walking around in the real world and playing Pokemon and finding Pokemon is such a great thing. But I just hope that the simplicity of it, doesn't kind of wear out too quickly. Because if it's a regular Pokemon game, and I mean you can literally train your Pokemon and evolve them and do all the regular stuff that you always have done for the last 20 years, that would be badass. And you could battle your friends and trade with people and battle random people on the street. Because I think that concept's just so cool. You have your phone on you and it beeps when you walk next to somebody. It's like, oh fuck, it's like dun 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 dun.
Mine's gonna do that, but I think you probably got to choose between in trainer mode or if I plus I'm not level 5 yet, so that's probably why. But because you have to get level 5 before you can battle anybody. But
I'm level 5. I just haven't ran into anybody yet.
I just got to go. My plan is Marley might be coming into town today. So
my plan is to not do anything today but play Pokemon.
Not entirely. We'll see what happens. My plan was to go by Golden Gate Park. But right now, here's the thing. I'm going to go to Golden Gate Park. Well, it's pretty, because I know it's Saturday, but it's pretty foggy, so no one's there, so probably be pretty easy. And I'm thinking about myself, I'm going to go to a park where a bunch of people live in, where it's foggy and not many other people are around right now. Okay, it just seems like a weird mix. So if I disappear in the next few days, you know where to start looking. But yeah.
Well, foggy's probably good, because the downfall of Pokemon Go is you can't really play it when it's sunny outside because you can't see your fucking screen.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just mean just because, I'm going to walk through this woodsy area in the fog where I know there's, homeless camps and all that shit.
Hey, what are you doing here? You play Pokemon Go? So am I! Give me all your Pokemon!
He has a, switchblade in one hand, his dick in the other.
Cell phone in the other. Yeah, his dick and his cell phone in the other. It's like, he's like, trade them all over now. You like your life. Literally just get robbed at fucking.
I'll splooge all over you unless it's me.
So you're just gonna end up getting robbed at Dick Point.
I'll splooge all over you unless you give me your. I'm not the Dick Point part, but what's gonna happen is someone probably is gonna get robbed. I could see some fucking kid, nothing major, no badass criminal, but something major, one kid, forcing another kid to make him trade him all his shit.
Oh, yeah, you know for a fact that's going to happen, because that's what happened with Pokemon cards. That's why they got originally banned, is because other kids would, beat the shit out of each other and take their cards. And it became just a mobster thing, because that was kind of the downfall. No matter what, trading of any sort is no different than, fucking gambling. And the second that gambling starts to exist, so is mobs, no matter what. No matter what age level it is. It just automatically comes with the territory. So
it just becomes a Martin Scorsese montage at school when it comes to Pokemon trading.
Yeah, with a fucking Rolling Stones song playing over it. So, I mean, it's bound to happen. But so far, the game's kind of cool. I really hope it just expands in itself, because, I could see it kind of wearing it, just like any other phone game. Mostly this is what everything I've always known as a phone games. The second that you're not kind of at somewhere like work or somewhere that's boring, that you got to have time to kill, those phone games, it's kind of like if you're at home, it's always weird when people play phone games at home a lot of times. I'm always like, you got a fucking PlayStation and a Nintendo sitting right there. What the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? But they always have worked pretty well when you're at somewhere like, oh, I got to wait for a half an hour. Well, here's this little game that can kind of cover me for that period. Or, as I said, it sounds so weird, but school and work always felt like they're the perfect places, because you always have these little time periods to kill, every once in a while, so you can whip that game up, play it for 10 minutes, and then go back to whatever you're doing. Where I hope this one, like, it's not one of those ones we play it for a week and then it's kind of like, okay, I felt like I saw everything that happens in this game.
I feel like what's going to happen is, I mean, right now I'm having fun with it, but I can see it getting old pretty quickly. So I'm just going to try enjoy it for the next few days while I can, when try and see if there's more to it than that. They're going to expand on it. They're not going to keep it the same thing. They're going to add to it, change things around. It's probably going to piss some people off, make other people happy. So we'll see where it goes. But
because that'll be the cool thing is once they start adding to it, you could keep this game going for a long time if they do it well. And I think if they just kind of work it in, even if they work it in slowly to becoming more like a regular Pokemon game, that'd be badass.
I also got to share this. This is just my dumbass. This isn't anything bad on the game so much, but usually back when you would, all right, so I make my profile, right? Make my guy. All right, go outside, capture a Pokemon. All right, capture a Charmander. Oh, do you want a nickname? I'm like, oh, so it's like the video game. So after I capture it, I can nickname it. Okay, I'll give it some stupid name. Spunky the Fire Lizard. All right, Fire Lizard's too much. All right, so Spunky the Lizard. Yeah, it sounds stupid, but it's just kind of funny. Just a funny name for a Charmander. Okay, Spunky the Lizard. There you go. Boom. Like, wait, what? That's my fucking name now? Are you serious? I can't change it now. So now my name's a fucking dick joke. Not even the Fire Lizard pit. Just Spunky the Lizard. My name's a fucking dick joke. That's my screen name now.
So now you definitely can't go to the elementary schools because it'd be like, Mommy, I need to go battle Spunky the Lizard. Just be like, come back.
I thought like, because that's what the old game would do. It'd ask you once you capture the fucking thing, if you want to name it. So I'm just like, okay, yeah, sure. And then like, oh, that's my fucking. Are you gotta be shitting me? Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. I don't know why. And it does it literally right after you think it would ask you that right in the beginning of the fucking game. It's like, hey, what do you want to be called? Like, what's your name? What's your name, young Billy?
Are you a boy or a girl?
It's like, you know what the thing about Pokemon I'll say is like, the girl character is always like way cooler than the guy characters. The guy characters just never look cool enough.
Yeah, the guy characters. Well, they always look like Ash, and Ash fucking sucks. It's one of those ones.
I wish that like you could almost. Like, because at first, like, oh, sweet, you can kind of modify, like, all this stuff, and then it's like, no, not really. You can just pretty much change your skin tone, and you got 3 hats to choose from, and so on. Maybe they'll add a little bit more where, like, down the line, you can change your costume so everybody can look kind of different. That'd be kind of sweet. Because in Pokemon X and Y, they had it where you could go to, like, boutique stores and whatnot and, like, fucking change your outfit, sort of.
All the guys, yeah, well, I mean, cause they always look kind of like Ash, and Ash was, even when I loved Pokemon as a kid, Ash, I fucking hated Ash. I loved the show, but I fucking hated Ash. And I wanted Ash to do good just so the show would progress. I'm like, Ash, you are fucking limiting the show. It could be just about Brock or Misty or some other main protagonist. I mean,
really, the Brock show would be the best one. Like, because that's the guy that we all
like want. Johnny Bravo meets Pokemon is just the dude trying to get laid while Pokemon battle.
Yeah, well, like Pokemon battle. Like, dude, who wouldn't want to see that show?
Well, that was funny about Brock, because it was just kind of like, when they first show him, he's like, I am very serious and all powerful and a great, Pokemon leader. I'm a gym leader. You don't want to fuck with me. And then as soon as, like, he starts hanging out, like, dude, let's get some fucking puss. It's like, are we Pokemon battling? No, man, we're on a fucking pussy hunt, bro.
Well, this is what happens technically when, like, an 18-year-old hangs out with a 10-year-old. When you really break it down, because the 10-year-old does not give a flying fuck about finding women, while you got this 18-year-old guy who's just like, I want to get my fucking dick wet in each town.
and then comes along, like, he's like, how old are you? Oh, never mind. No. Wait. Oh, we got a fucking Nurse Joy!
And then it's just like, and then he's like, dude, fucking Ash, that Misty chick wants to fuck you, man. She wrote a fucking song about it where she's singing while we were asleep that she wants to bang the shit out of you. He's like, I don't like women. I like Pokemon. Ash, come on, dude. Like, you got this fucking in the bag. In the Pokebag.
No one gives a fuck about their bike that much, okay?
When she says she wants her bike back, she just wants to ride your fucking ass.
That's all she wants to ride, bro. Like, oh, look, it's a Poliwhirl.
Slaps Ash. You're the fucking bike. There is no bike.
What do you think he means, Pikachu? Pika. Just says subtitles like, dude, you're fucking stupid.
Pika. Okay. Come on, Pikachu! We gotta go capture more Pokemon! Oh.
Pika! Kill me now.
But Yeah, Pokemon Go, it's bringing back all kinds of fun things. Be a good precursor, because I can't wait till fucking Pokemon Sun and Moon comes out. It looks so good.
I should actually go ahead. Actually,
Or what were you going to say?
I wasn't sure if you're still on Pokemon, but I wanted to mention something else before we head on out.
Yeah, let's go with whatever you got, because I felt like we went for a good old hour on Pokemon.
Last time on the show I talked about I might meet Paul Dini, and turns out I did meet Paul Dini. And over at the Comics Experience, which is this really cool comic store in San Francisco, they got this thing where if you're part of this kind of like you pay $25 a month, you get this particular comic book, like a free sketch of something, or something to that effect, and then then like one of the comic creators comes into the store. If they're too far away, they'll Skype in. Like Neil Gaiman Skyped in one time. So I haven't been able to make very many of these things, but I was making sure I made it to the Neil Gaiman one as well as the Paul Dini one, where he did Dark Knight, which we talked about last week. And Dark Knight, Knight spelled the way you think it's spelled, Night, not the Dark Knight, like the way we think, like, oh, he's a knight in shining armor kind of thing. So I just gotta say, I did the thing I usually do, just kind of fucking embarrass myself. I go up to him. I was like, oh, hey, Paul. I mean, I'm sure he probably gets us all the time, so to him, it's probably no big deal. But I just go up like, hey, Paul, thanks for making half my childhood. You know, he's like, oh, yeah, you're welcome. So I'm just trying to be as chill and cool with him as possible. Then I take the picture, and I'm like, okay, I think I did okay. And then like one of this girl that works there who's pretty cool, she took the picture for me. Like, thanks a lot. She took 3 real quick, rapid pictures. There you go. I'm like, oh, thanks, Paul. You know, I noticed I wasn't really making eye contact near the end. Like, fuck, whatever. Well, I think I came out all right. You know, I didn't.
And then you sent me that picture, and in that picture, it just looked like 2 mortal enemies having to like shake hands and make a difference together. Like, okay, we don't really like each other, but we're coming together for the common good here.
It looks like that in the picture. Now, here's the thing. I just look like I'm so embarrassed. I don't really get like giddy around because I've met celebrities before. I don't want to sound like, oh, I'm a huge like big shot or anything. I've met celebrities before, been able to contain myself, but ones I really like, I always have a tendency like, oh fuck. And I was happy to see him, but in my face, I look like I'm mad. Like I look like I'm just trying to hold back. Like my eyes are kind of squinting, and it looks like I'm trying to force a smile.
And then even Paul Dini himself kind of looks like this fuck is shaking my hand. I fucking hate this guy. I don't know what he looked.
Here's the thing about that picture. There's 3 pictures, and she took them rapidly. The first 2 are low lighting, and he's actually looking at the camera smiling. On the third one, that's where somebody said something that caught his attention. He's kind of looking away. So
the good picture, as far as lighting and contrast goes, is the one where it just looks like 2 guys. They're about to fight each other, but are signing a truce.
Just that picture. Not a good picture of me. Good picture. He just looks like he's just kind of going through it, but he did a Q&A, and he revealed a lot, and it's kind of some of the stuff he rehashed on Batman, the episode where he's talking about the episode where he's talking about how he came up with the book. He went into some more details with the animation industry and his inspirations for that. It was very, very interesting. He had a lot to say. I managed to ask him 2 questions, and he gave me some pretty good answers. I asked him what were some characters you wanted to see, and what were some characters you wanted to use when working on Batman the Animated Series or Justice League? We never got a chance to. He said, I wanted to do one called I want to use a character from the 80s called Nocturna, who was like a vampire lady, and she was going to want to be for a Halloween special, but they wouldn't let us do anything involving vampires. And then...
but later on, they got to do Batman versus Dracula in the Batman show.
Yeah, but then they said he also wanted to do one with Black Canary and Catwoman teaming up together. But he says that was at a time when WB was like, "Where's Robin? What? It's called Batman and Robin. Robin has to be in there. You can't have this without Robin." So it's like, okay, but
you should have said beyond that, to be like, "Hey, any chance you're gonna do this book turn into a DCU movie?"
I should have asked that. It didn't cross my mind at the time, but I just wanted to keep it to like his career and all that stuff. And then I asked him one more thing, like offhand. He mentioned, I remember he said this before, I didn't go into details. He mentioned that somebody asked him like, "Hey, you've done so good in video games, you've done so good in television, you've done so good in comics. Why haven't you done a movie yet?" He says, "Well, I almost worked on a couple movies. We were toying around with the original
Technically
Batman
did a
versus
movie.
well, like yeah, I went to theaters, but like another movie, because that was almost kind of like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Mask of the Phantasm. We did a whole episode on it, but it's one of those things where that was a really rush thing, and for them it was gonna be a straight to video movie that got like a short kind of treatment. They just mean like a big like treat it big. 'Cause that even as good as that movie is, they didn't treat it that big. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I know what you mean because it is
So you mean
kind of like an extended episode. Is really what it feels like. But yeah, and
sorry, I got all staticky there. I didn't hear you. I got all staticky. What'd you say?
oh, I just said because it is a it's just like a long episode.
Yeah, I got Saki again, but I just heard you. I'm just assuming you said, "Oh yeah, that retrospect episode or something." I want to assume you said something like that. But anyway, I asked him about like he said he was going to work on the Batman Beyond movie, but then that fell through, and I just asked him what were some of the details about that movie, and he said that Joker was kind of like the first half was like Dark Knight Returns, Batman getting older, being too old to fight, and then Terry McGinnis comes in at the halfway point, and the two villains were Joker and think it was Damian Powers or Dylan Powers, the Green Skull guy from Batman
Oh,
Beyond.
that's cool.
Yeah,
Well, that's pretty sweet.
but he
though.
said he just wanted to jump. He didn't want to do the whole Dark Knight Returns thing. He said he just wanted to jump in with Batman, but we would like Terry McGinnis. But I get where he's coming from though. So
Yeah, well, that's still pretty sweet. Got like those kind of little events where you get to meet some people and shake their hands, get an autograph. Did you get your Dark Knight book signed?
I got the Dark Knight's book signed. I had him sign Heart of Hush, which I brought with me. I didn't want to bring a whole stack of everything.
Because you don't want to be that
on.
dick that like fucking brings in like a ton of stuff. Like now sign everything I own of yours. Like those people you always just want to take outside and beat the shit out of and be like, you don't fucking come back again.
Yeah, I just brought Heart of Hush and Dark Knight, and then there's another. Then he said like, okay, so anybody want to do last minute signings? If you already signed, please don't make him sign anymore. I just kind of waited in that same line though. I wasn't having anything to sign. I just said, oh, I just want to say thank you so much for coming, and I love your work. He's like, oh, thank you very much. It was kind of like a chance at redemption to not fuck it up and shake his hand,
Now, how
So
just
just
want
want.
this event.
It was a lot. I'm gonna say there's probably around like, I mean, it's just a store, probably just about a store's worth. I'm gonna say probably like around 20 to 30 something people.
Oh, so really not very many people at all.
So what was that?
That's pretty cool. Oh, I just said not that many people at all.
Well, I mean, I guess for the store, you know what I mean? It was like that many people for like in the small store. And I guess unless you really knew, it wasn't like they rented out an auditorium. It was just the store after hours you come to.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was in a store, but I just kind of wonder. I'm like, well, how many people could you have in there? But yeah, for some reason, I was thinking like it could be anywhere from 20 to 100 or something like that. But well, that's pretty sweet because that means you get a pretty good, like, more intimate experience, not necessarily having to be, oh, okay, I'm one of 1,000 here, and hopefully he'll answer my question.
Yeah, yeah. So and it was he got a chance. Anybody who raised their hand asked a question. We got a chance to have it answered. So it was a pretty cool thing, and he's a really cool, nice guy. And his wife Misty was there. She was really nice, and she said, "Thank you so much for
magic
coming."
tricks.
She didn't do any magic tricks. They made a joke about that. I didn't really want to push it or like because I mean I know
Do some magic. Do some magic.
I know she's a magician because he's brought her up in conversation. I don't really know anything about her other than he married her, and I don't really know what she looked like. So I just want to be like, oh, so you're Misty or whatever. Like, no, I didn't know who she was. So I just want to be like, on the slight chance, it was being kind of like, oh, you're Misty? Actually, it's my girlfriend. We just divorced a little bit ago. Oh, fuck. I didn't know what she looked like, so I didn't say nothing about that. But then I overheard in small conversations, like, okay, that is Misty, like around the. But yeah, she was really nice, and she was really cool, and yeah.
That's sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a perfect place to probably leave off at. Before we go, one more thing. I'm kind of in the process of transferring the podcast over to the Podbean server, mainly for the fact that you can store unlimited stuff on there. Unlike the downfall of the Podomatic. I like Podomatic a lot, but they kind of cap you off at about a couple gigs. So, that's why I've only been able to have like 22 episodes up at a time and then having to rotate them. I mean, they've always been on YouTube. You could always check out all 249 episodes on there. But at the moment, I've got the Podbean one set up, so you can go check out that one. It's just podbean.com, I think /Old Man Orange, maybe Old Man Orange Podcast, can't remember exactly, but So that's there. So if you want to start following on there and kind of get that one going, I'm going to kind of at the moment just upload to both Podomatic and Podbean as it's kind of going on. And then hopefully at some point kind of more just start converting it more over to making Podbean the main section just for the storage reasons. Mm-hmm. But other than that, check out oldmanorange.com for more podcasts, cartoons, and more. If you want to support us, we got our Patreon account going. Just Old Man Orange, Patreon, look that up. Anywhere else you want to support us, we got our Amazon links in the descriptions. We'll probably put whatever the hell we're talking about today. I don't know, something Pokemon-oriented maybe. I don't know what. But put that in there, click on that. You can buy anything at Amazon. It doesn't cost you any extra, but helps send us a little something our way. If you don't want to even pay, but you want to still support somehow, some way, leave us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, or more. That always helps out. But until then, I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
I'm Ryan Dunigan.
And we will see you some other time.
Later, folks.
Check out our website at oldmanorange.com for even more podcasts, cartoons, videos, music, and more. Send us an email at oldmanorangepodcast@yahoo.com. Be sure to subscribe, share, rate, and review us on iTunes, Podomatic, or any of the other fine sites we might be located on. And if you want to help out even more, click on the Amazon or GameStop links on our webpage before you make any purchases there. It won't cost you a penny, but it sends us a little something our way. Thanks again, and tune in next week for more Old Man Orange Podcast.